Good morning, movers and shakers. James here, and today I am up in Newcastle on the town moor for the Run Newcastle Valentines 10k. It is a fairly chilly grey morning up here, but the weather forecast has improved slightly. I very nearly didn't come this morning as it was due to be kind of sleet and hail and all sorts of horrible stuff. But it is cold, a little bit soggy, but dry at the moment. I'm going to give this one a little bit of an effort. I've got Lisbon half marathon in about 3 weeks, so I don't want to go all out today, but I'm going to give it a little bit of a push and see what I can do on a fairly fast and flat course. So I'm not necessarily going for an all-out 10k PB today. My PB is like 48 minutes flat, but I have run this race before a couple of years back and I got 53 minutes, so I'm hoping to go under 53 minutes at least anyway. I've got the carbon plated bad boys on, the Metaspeed Sky Plus, so hopefully they'll keep me going and we'll give it a good effort. So I'm not going to be talking to the camera too much today, as I'm probably going to be working a little bit too hard and I'm going to be too out of breath. So I'm going to trial doing the whole stats on the screen, show you my speed, show you my distance, that kind of thing. So for now, I've always wanted to say this, let's throw over to me in the studio. And in 3, 2, 1, let's go! And slowly shuffle over the timing mat, and okay, let's go! So, all I wanted to do here was to try and find a little bit of space so I could settle into my goal pace. I'm absolutely terrible for flying off too fast and paying for it later. So as we passed the beautiful Portaloos there, I was just trying to find the space so I could settle in to about 5 minutes 10 per kilometre. This would get me to beat my goal time for the race without being too much of a stretch. Let's have a little go and see what we can do. So you can see as we come round this first corner here, I've got my stats up on the screen for you today. I've got my pace on the left hand side there, the distance travelled, a little map for you to keep an eye on. I've got my heart rate top left there, and I've also got the slope, which is currently 1% and is about as hilly as we got here. This course was fast and flat. I'll also throw up the kilometre splits so you can see how I'm doing each kilometre we pass through. For some reason we've lost the stats on this clip, but I came through the first kilometre in 5 minutes 10, bang on goal pace, and was feeling good.
Thank you.
As we come into the second kilometre, you can see my pace has increased quite a bit and I'm dropping towards the 440s. I actually come through the second kilometre of 441. Oh no, are we going out too fast? That's a lot closer to my PB pace and not what I was really aiming for. But right now I feel good, so I'm just going to keep on and see how long I can hold it for. Keep an eye out for this lady in the pink and green, as we may just see her again. So I come through the third kilometre in a 4:42, just 1 second slower than the last, and I'm still feeling surprisingly strong. What's going on? So this section here was probably the hardest on the course. It was a little bit gravelly underfoot, a tiny bit of a hill.
Really not much to write home about, but when you're pushing all out, you could really feel the difference. Just a shout out to this absolute unit here pushing up the hill. What a complete legend.
Hold on, Matt.
They managed to sit in behind these two runners for a little while, and they dragged me through to the 4th kilometre on a really long open section across the town moor. I got through the 4th kilometre in 4:46, slightly slower but still hanging on to that sub 50-minute pace. As we come towards the end of the first lap here, I'm pushing on the best I can, trying to make the most of this slight downhill. My heart rate's up in the 190s, but I think the data's gone wrong, so don't take that into account too much. Shout out to this guy on the left going the wrong way, even though 3 marshals had told him to keep right. Good on you, mate. I go through the 5th kilometre in 4:49, on great pace to keep sub 50. Come on, let's see if we can do this. So, for most of the second lap, I had my eyes on this guy with the green shoes. He was going slightly faster than I was, but I was determined not to lose him, to try and keep pushing. He dragged me through the 6th kilometre in a 4:52. I was starting to struggle, but I was determined not to drop off that pace. As we came onto the smooth tarmac outside the park, I was able to pull back the 7th kilometre a little bit for a 4:45. I knew now that at least sub 50 was on, but if I pushed really hard, I might be somewhere near my all-time PB. Surely not. Judging the pace was really hard. With no paces and with the field quite spread out, it was hard to judge just how hard I needed to push. We were also passing people from the half marathon, making it even more confusing, but I still managed to get through the 8th kilometre in a 4:48. I wasn't losing this now. I have no idea when she passed me, but here she is again, pink shirt, dragging me up this hill for the final time. Let's go. This 8th kilometre up and across the town moor was really tough. I was desperately trying to hold a tiny bit in the tank so I could maybe try and muster a sprint finish. I managed to push and push as hard as I could, and I made it through the 9th kilometre in 4:51. I could almost smell the finish line, just had to hang on. Pink shirt was holding a great consistent pace, and I knew if I could just try my best to stick with her, then a PB might just be on the cards. As we approached 250 metres to go here, I was giving it absolutely everything to stick with Pink Top and to push for the finish line. I knew I was so close to that PB, so I was going to give it absolutely everything I had. Let's see what happened.
So really good turnout today. There's loads of people finishing. Just about the hour mark still. A lot busier than the last time I did this race, like 2 years ago. Really good to see the turnouts getting bigger and bigger for these races. Everyone's out having a fun time. Most people seem to have enjoyed themselves. Well, that was interesting. So I was aiming for something sub 53 minutes. I think I finished it in sub 49. So wasn't planning on going anywhere near that fast today, but set out, realised after the first 2 or 3 kilometres I was under 50-minute pace, and just kind of wanted to see if I could hold that pace. So I'm gonna have to wait for the exact time, but I'm gonna be pretty bloody close to my all-time 10k PB, which I'm really pleased with. It did feel hard work, but that just shows that my Lisbon training block's been going really well. Gives me a lot of confidence for the half marathon in a couple of weeks. So yeah, really pleased with that. Fun race as always. It's a pretty boring course just around the town moor. There's not much to look at, but it's fairly fast, fairly flat, apart from a few gravelly bits and a few ever so slight inclines, so that definitely helped with the time. Gonna need a day or two to recover now, I think, but remember, keep moving forward.